Nature hasn't assigned any work to anyone. The law of nature is simple. Even Gautam Buddha couldn't give birth to a child himself. This is the law of nature. But Buddha was compassionate, sensitive, forgiving, and a lot more, which surely does not fall under the social construct of masculinity. As the complexity of our ecosystems become more apparent, the lines between nature and culture, human and non-human, and technology and bodies become less distinct. Yet, contemporary masculinity studies have generally failed to acknowledge this new way of thinking. If we observe deeply how we function and evolve, everything is an interpretation and a mere perspective. Technically, everything boils down to subjectivity as to how you and I perceive something or understand something. This very understanding becomes a base for an individual to explore the paradigm of life. After my teens, I was exposed to cross-culture learning and I was fascinated with this newly found word called masculinity. Even today, when we Google the word masculine or masculinity and look at Google images, you will be shocked to see what it is projected. You will see only toned men, handsome and well-built men who appear when you search for masculinity. The Oxford definition says qualities or attributes regarded as characteristic of men is what masculinity stands for. And these are commonly taken qualities and attributes and are the ones which Hollywood, Bollywood and Tollywood have been selling to us for ages. A man or a hero is often the one who is toned, muscular, handsome and a person who never gets hurt and will mostly not cry no matter what to a very great extent. This of course is an observation which I made while I was watching visual content. The perception of society on masculinity is associated with appearance and no other trait is considered and is often associated to describe men. After my expedition of learning about masculinity and all other things associated with it, I was still unclear as to how physical traits of a handful men lead the universal definition, perspective or understanding of the word masculinity. After dwelling into some research reading and having conversations with a lot of experts from all walks of life, which is technically what I do all through the day, I started reflecting upon the aspects of the thought process, because that's where the problem is what I believe. And you see, here I am today talking about how I looked at masculinity and how have I added value to my life and to the lives of several young adults. Unfortunately, in today's world, masculinity to a very great extent does not hold a positive construct. To understand this, we must look at two ways to process masculinity. So let us look at how masculinity is associated with power, physical strength and charming looks. In many contexts, it is also shown that the man being all macho is often powerful, dominant and has a charming look. With all this machoism, it is also shown that he gets into fights and is very powerful and respects nothing but his ideology. The idea of masculinity is often perceived as an ideal approach towards living life like a man. The stereotypes portrayed by our media are in a way responsible for how the perception of an audience is evolving when it comes to masculinity. It is due to the power dynamics of masculinity that is instilled in the man. They feel powerful, and in most Indian households, we see men indulging in domestic violence against their partner and their children. The idea of I am powerful is what they are connected with. The idea of I am man, I earn in this family, hence you do as I say, is a perfect example of toxic masculinity. I come from a land where we learn life through spirituality and mythology. I am a believer. Hence, I would like to validate my point of view by investing some time in putting up some analogies, drawing from mythology and spirituality. I am a man who has been looking at Lord Shiva all through my life, and so let me take an analogy from his life. I've known him for a while. I do not know if he knows me, but yes, I definitely know him to a good extent. At a point of time in his life, he emerges as Ardhanadishwara, where he is seen as half of himself and the other half of his body in the form of his wife, Devi Parvati. Any spiritual or mythological text is deconstructed to know what it denotes. When I learned about Ardhanarishwara, I was so moved with the whole point or the ideology of his appearance as such. But this very idea has also to be looked at mentally. The whole point of Ardhanarishwara was not to only establish the fact that an individual is a combination of traits carrying masculinity and femininity, regardless of their gender assigned to them at the time of their birth, but also to penetrate the idea of masculinity to be simple, loving, strength projection, being able to stay humble, being able to control one's urge or handle one's urge and whatnot falls into this domain. If half of a man is half of the woman in his self, in the life, then we should also look at it the other way. Aren't they equal in all aspects? They definitely are equal in all aspects. And yet we see the idea of masculinity being often misunderstood, and only a very few qualities are highlighted and are leading to toxic masculinity. And here comes the other way to look at masculinity, which I was trying to explore and dwell into in terms of my personal experiences. The attributes of masculinity in a sphere are also associated with power and domination, but on a mental level, and have nothing to do with the social construct of gender. I've come across a lot of men who were accused of harassment and violence. Unless the final verdict is given by the court of law, one is not to be treated as guilty. But in reality, he and his family is taken into task by the society with the very own people whom you and I interact with on a day-to-day basis. Often they have to take the heat from the society and sometimes from their own family. Many men have committed suicide as well due to traumatic experiences like these. Some documentaries have covered the reality of men's life, portraying emotions, relationship bonds. The impact these sensitive matters have on the mind of men who are wrongly accused break them apart. And several times, it is not just them, but the whole family is also looked down upon. It becomes a very unhealthy for an entire family to function in a society. And this suffocates men, and the way a mind is working here is to sabotage another person because of their gender is a pure trait of power and trying to prove this is what you deserve. This very attitude should also be looked at as toxic masculinity. On a personal level, I was a victim too. Allegations of this nature, seeking justice on social media, posting misinformation about someone and assassinating or rather butchering someone's character on social media can also be labeled as toxic masculinity. Because toxic masculinity, or masculinity rather, is a mindset of making someone feel something. So I say toxic masculinity is something, which provokes or promotes the mindset of making someone feel powerless, watching someone suffer, and I guess these are the traits of toxic masculinity in terms of how it plays an important role keeping power dynamics in mind. I can do anything to you, this very thought is also regarded as something which is drawn from toxic masculinity. I learned that gender has nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. It is a mere thought process that drives people towards power and to control someone's life and ruin it or take it to any extent possible. Also, if we go by the popular traits of masculinity, I am sure majority of Indian men do not fall under this ideology or category of masculinity. And definitely I'm not macho enough in terms of my appearance, and I'm not someone who would love to lift weights. I'm not someone who would love to impose decisions on things. All that matters is to love people around you, help them if you can, be compassionate, empathize with them, and reflect on how you are evolving as an individual. And I guess that is all that matters. And here I am today, still exploring life. And of course, it is an unknown territory, definitely. And it depends on how one looks at it and how one learns from it. I know for a fact that I faced this life to an extent where I am today. And I know a lot of known faces will come across in this path of life. But it definitely is an expedition in itself. And that's how we have to look at life. And well, here I am talking about masculinity and life. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience today.